Steele reporting for Live Sail Die, looking at some footage from Friday the 27th of Team New Zealand. Obviously you can see it's the upper wind range as we see the boat going upwind here. Interesting, you can see that lured foil with quite a lot of the tip piercing, so the horizontal part of the foil is actually piercing out of the surface of the water, and that's creating a lot of that spray. So they're obviously going for that max cant as the wind range gets up to try and generate more riding moment. But in doing that, the boat sails with quite a lot of windward heel at times, but it can be quite unstable, which you sort of see from these shots here. So more tip pierce is obviously a little bit more unstable, but they're just trying to get as much riding moment as they can for speed. Sort of see this footage here of them stuffing the bow pretty hard out of, I'm not sure if that was a manoeuvre or just a bear away, but this looks like a lot more of a better setup, and as they go into a pretty sweet foiling jibe here, you can see, the camera's in slow motion obvious, but it seems like, to me, looking at the shots, they've got a much faster turning speed than the other teams, I think, in their jibes, and it seems like they spend less time with two foils in the water, so they're very quick to get that new foil up out of the jibe, whereas it sort of seems like some of the other teams spend more time on two foils and maybe a slower turning speed. So it's hard to know. Obviously, the longer your turning speed is, the deeper you sort of get downwind. So without looking at analytics, it's hard to know what the better VMG is. But in terms of straight line boat speed, obviously, as soon as you can get that old foil out of the water, you're going to be accelerating a lot faster. So it'll be interesting to see what techniques work when it comes to the cup. But again, you can sort of see how windy it is here with the boats going from a downwind to an upwind with probably quite a wide mark rounding, but it's obviously a very tricky manoeuvre in this much breeze. Then we get to have a look at Luna Rossa. So Prada here, which looks pretty nice in this shot. They've got the boat sailing along with a pretty stable flight. And I think these guys seem to have quite a lot of pace, especially when the breeze is up. Just looking at the footage, it seems like their control systems are quite good. Obviously, looking at the weather foil here, it's, again, more of an anhedral type foil, so there's got a bit more angle in it than the Team New Zealand foils, which are quite straight. Straight line speed, maybe not quite as fast, but maybe a little bit more control that sort of they're able to have. And then, again, going through attack, it's quite a slow turning speed, I think, compared to the Kiwis and the tacks. It just, again, sort of seems like they spend more time with two foils in the water, so I'm not sure, again, looking at the numbers, which is better, but it's just definitely a point of difference. And then a bearway, which is obviously very hard, again, in these conditions, but I think in these boats in general, you obviously, when the boat gets a little bit of leeward heel, that angle of the foil changes a lot, so I think it gets pretty difficult for these guys trying to get the sail trim right. So yeah, a few key points there. Definitely think both of those teams are looking pretty quick in that much breeze, and to be sailing around and probably above what the racing conditions are going to be for the Christmas Cup, I think it's pretty impressive.